Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, to the final part to What If Deku was isekai'd to the Tensei world. Wow, it has been a journey. I do hope you guys did really enjoy the series. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, all of that jazz, and give me a comment describing what you thought of the series and if you thought I could do better or how you thought the story should go. I'm not going to change it, but just, it's nice to have other people's opinions for future what ifs. But yeah, so there. I hope you guys do really enjoy this part. And yeah, remember, I just want to give a massive thanks to my boy Saint. His links and all the music for this video used in this video are down in the description. And yeah, so I do hope you guys do really enjoy this part. If you do, be sure to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. And yeah, just remember, God is awesome, you guys are too. And let's just get straight into this epic what if. Let's go! As when Rimuru comes back, he wants to go to the kingdom of Blumund to do a big do like trades with them and to become an adventurer and to go to the kingdom of Ingracia. But to do that, he has to become an adventurer. So blah blah blah. There you go. So he then decides to take Apollyon and Ranka for their support, with the three other adventurers, Eren, Cavell, and Guido. Hearing Rimuru wants to become an adventurer, Apollyon does get very interested and does willingly go with, and excitedly goes with, as they do go by carriage for about half of the trip there, and then start walking. Apollyon does immediately explain, like, Lord Rimuru, I do understand that you want to go with this full immersive adventure where you don't have to use your magic sense, but you do gotta remember, there are still different, there are these herb things that's around this area that do make you hallucinate. And not saying that these guys aren't weak-minded at all, but these three are weak-minded. So, so just make sure you've got your not telling you what to do, Lord Rimuru, but suggesting to keep your magic sense even just up, just to the low level or whatever, just to make sure that we're not being duped and going in circles. As Rimuru just nods and be like, yeah, we got this, Apollyon, don't worry, we got this. As they quickly, Apollyon does realize very quickly that they are going in circles, as he then just looks at Rimuru, just so annoyed, just like, come on, man. Rimuru just looks away, just looks away, whistling, as, he's just looking away. So, after this, they stay at the cabin that they're supposed to stay at. After this, they stay at the cabin where the guilds, builders and all them are staying while they're building. So they do stay there at night, and then after a week, they do finally arrive at Blumund with a bunch of terrain changing and chopping down of trees. So the rest of the journey does go as canon, pretty much. If you guys have read the manga, it's in there. So it goes as canon. Pretty simple. So yeah. So after this, Rimuru kind of goes to get registration, as kind of the people at the registration do recognize Apollyon, as didn't really state this in earlier parts because it wasn't really relevant and I only thought about it now, but Apollyon is an S rank adventurer since he went on a bunch of different missions and stuff for different people, so he's like A plus S rank. So the registration kind of people do, and the people around kind of the area, the different kind of examiners kind of recognize him and like just give him a sly wave because they know he doesn't want to be harassed, as he does recognize a lot of them as well, being like, yeah, how's it going? But yeah, so they do recognize him, but they don't bother him since they know he's a kind of quiet person who doesn't, well, he's not quiet, but he doesn't like people. So yeah, he wasn't S rank in his kind of earlier years before he just decided to stop doing adventuring with different people until he went to like Lord Rimuru. So yeah, and after kind of they hear that Rimuru does want to become an adventurer, they are hesitant first, but after convincing from Kefal and Apollyon straight up saying this kid can wipe the floor with me, saying that Rimuru can put him on the ground very quickly, they kind of does as he says and does the test, as he does go for monster slaying as in the original, as one of the examiners wants to test Rimuru since he heard that Apollyon once says that this kid can put him, one of the strongest adventurers ever, in the ground in seconds. So he's like, alright, let's test this. So, long story short, Rimuru destroys every summon this man sends, just ending them all, as the lower rank demon starts rocking up, as Rimuru does end it very quickly. He's just like, nah man, just put this man down, put this man on a plate. So he destroys just every single summon that this man sends and just wipes them all, as the man realizes, yeah, this guy's pretty legit. And they give him a B rank kind of adventure card immediately. And then the Guildmaster rocks up, very angry, as he's got steam coming out of his ears. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he's very, very angry and decides, yo, this guy. But then he looks over to the three adventurers, Eren, Kefal, and Guido, as he's like, I told you guys. As he then explains, like, come on guys, I told you, bring him straight to me so we don't have this incident. As they then kind of go to Guildmaster Fuse's office, as he then gives Rimuru kind of the adventures rank thing, so then it can be a lot easier for him to get into places. As after this, the Guildmaster does explain that the king wants to make like a deal with him, which they do, and then Rimuru realizes he's been stitched, but oh well, he doesn't really care. I mean, he does care, but he's not going to do much about it. So after this, they do head home, as yeah, they do head home. Nothing much happens after this, as a few weeks later, Rimuru kind of just states out to his people that he's had a dream. But yeah, so he's had a dream that he kind of about Shizu's kids and all that. So he wants to go to the kingdom of Ingracia, which everyone's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And Apollyon just raises his hand, just saying, yo, can I come with? Rimuru's like, yeah, sure, why not? Just you though. The rest of you guys, you gotta stay here hold down the fort. But yeah, Apollyon, come with me. He's pretty much my bodyguard. Like, Shion's about to get shit. She's like, but like, I thought I was secretary, but like, and Rimuru's like, yeah, you're my secretary. This man's my bodyguard. Yeah, so they're like, okay, cool. So yeah, that kind of happens as they do kind of arrive, and while Rimuru arrives and meets with the principal of the school, Apollyon walks around. People try and mug him. Apollyon putting them in the ground. Pretty easy. Not much happens, as Rimuru then becomes a teacher of the students, as he kind of meets with the principal, realizing that he's also an anime nerd man, and they get along very good and nice. So, as he meets the students and Apollyon meets the students, as soon as they walk in, Apollyon is just like, oh gosh, why did I raise my hand to join? Rimuru's like, bro, you put your hand up, this is on you. So the kids are very unruly, as he then decides maybe to get rid of their magicals, he can like fight them and burn their energy so they can get rid of their magicals. So he says, alright, first person to, like, you guys can just try and lay a hand on me, try and land an attack on me. As they're like, okay, pretty cool. So they try and land an attack on him while Apollyon is just laying on, like, you know how sometimes like you got a dog there and you're just laying your head on the dog. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. So he's laying kind of on the dog, his head's kind of against the dog, he's just watching on Ranga. So that kind of happens. The kids start to try and attack Rimuru, which pretty much goes to canon. Nothing really happens. Like, it didn't burn their magicals or anything, so it was kind of a waste of time. But they realize that Rimuru is an absolute goat, and this man cannot be touched. So they find out that he is powerful. But yeah, so they then kind of question Apollyon, asking like who this guy is. Is he like, yeah. Rimuru explains like, this guy's my friend, I guess, my companion. He's kind of here just for company and protection, I guess. Like, Apollyon just like, he's laying there kind of like Zoro from One Piece, just laying there with his eyes closed as he just opens his eyes when they start talking about him. Yeah, so Rimuru kind of explains he's just there for company and protection, as then that night, Rimuru teleports via teleportation powers back to the forest of Jura, where he meets Trainee, kind of asking about these kids, as Trainee then explains about the kind of Queen of Spirits, but she hasn't had the connection with Queen of Spirits for quite a long time, so that's sad. But hopefully you can find out something if you poke around. So Rimuru arrives back, as that next day the Sky Dragon appears, as it goes absolutely AWOL, as Apollyon starts fighting it, sending helio chains and kind of flame strings, whatever they called it, burning thread, that one, some kind of heat wave powers, heat waves and all that, which doesn't really do a lot. He's not trying to incinerate the entire kingdom, so he's kind of going a bit easy on it. But yeah, so he starts taking it, as Rimuru just one-shots it. Not really much else to say. He just ends that thing's whole career once he rocks up. So after this, the merchant kind of invites Rimuru, saying like, thank you for saving my life, as then they start talking business. And Apollyon, who's kind of just sitting there, is like, oh, not this again. I've had enough. I'm a soldier. I'm here to fight, not to not fight. Like, come on. But yeah, so Rimuru's like, you're fine. You're all good, Apollyon. You're all goods. As, yeah, they do kind of talk about business, as after the day, well, that night after dinner, a girl who was there, one of the assistants, approaches Rimuru and the gang and tells them about where the dwelling of spirits is, as everyone's like, oh, pretty sick. So Rimuru gives her a healthy tip for the help, as they then the next day or so go with the kids to the forest park, as they then go into the labyrinths where the dwelling of the spirits is. As they walk through, they enter a large kind of corridor and then a giant room where they're then told by a mysterious and ominous voice that they have to defeat the giant golem, the giant pink golem in front of them, which Rimuru then strings up with this sticky steel thread and burns that thing to the next world. So that thing just got incinerated. So after this, Ramos arrives saying, oh, you destroyed it, why? But then she does kind of look over, seeing Apollyon, but she shivers, which does kind of confuses them, as she gets a shiver kind of down her spine. She's like, oh my goodness. As she kind of sees him and starts like just saying stuff under her breath. She's wondering everyone's wondering like what's going on, as she then introduces herself as kind of the demon lord Ramaris, and everyone's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Don't look demon lordish, but well, all good. As they talk about like, she then starts talking about like the building the golem with spirit energy and all that, and after this revealing that she is the queen of spirits, as Rimuru starts talking to her about these kids and how they want spirits in them so they cannot die very early. So after this, Ramaris takes them into the deepest part of the labyrinth, where they then go up to a large pedestal where the kids get their spirits kind of in them, as that kind of earth guy gets an earth spirit, the other guy gets a light spirit, the other guy gets a wind water spirit, the other girl gets another spirit, and that one other girl gets the future spirit, or whatever it is. So that happens, as everyone's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. So a few days later, kind of everything else kind of happens pretty regularly, with there being a test or whatever, as everyone's sad, but then they get the results, everyone's happy, and then it is revealed that Apollyon and Rimuru are leaving, which the kids are big sad. The kids are really sad about this, but they don't care. Apollyon doesn't care. He doesn't like kids. No, I'm kidding. He's fine with them. They're fine. So they're all like, oh, that's so sad you're leaving, but oh well. So Rimuru gives them the mask because it's nice of them, as then they leave. And as they're walking back, Apollyon then stops abruptly as the flame on his head starts kind of lowering and dying out. It doesn't die out, but it gets very sad. It becomes a sad flame. And Rimuru is wondering like what's going on, and then he feels it as well, as they sense an anti-magic area around them. As after this, a strange lady walks up with a sword, declaring herself as Hinata Sugagochi, and then attacks, saying that she will get revenge and avenge Shizue by killing Rimuru and by destroying this heathenous monster in front of her. As they start fighting, Apollyon's keeping up a bit, but since he can't have a lot of his abilities, all his kind of attacks are based on his abilities, so him having a sword, still kind of having a sword, but it's not his main kind of ability, so he doesn't have super strength, like this isn't his strong suit. So as they're fighting, they start fighting for a bit, Apollyon and Rimuru do get the advantage by teaming up and synchronizing, but then Hinata decides, okay, they're kind of going hard, I'll go harder. So she starts slapping them as she then kind of hits Rimuru away, sending him flying as she then jumps towards Apollyon as Apollyon tries to dodge it, but he doesn't have enough time as she then goes for a slash, aiming for his neck as it inches closer and closer as he then screams out, short distance transmission, as he then tries to kind of teleport behind, but as this happens, a bright orange and white glow appears from his chest as everyone's wondering what's going on, as a giant flash of light just flashes kind of everything, blinding everyone, as when Hinata and Rimuru awake, like, get their sight back and all that, they see that Apollyon is nowhere to be seen, with only a small kind of bit of his robe or whatever, or a bit of his clothing left, as Rimuru, he's just in shock, and Hinata is smug, thinking that, I mean, she's not really sure what happened, but she's happy that this heathenous devil spawn is dead. As we then have the flash of light as it blinds everyone, and Apollyon then opens his eyes, wondering what's going on, as he then sees a forest everywhere, as he's not really sure what's going on, as he's looking around, but it doesn't feel like the same forest or anything. It feels so weird, like he feels it's the same area, but it's not. It's so much more dense and just different. There's not a road here, there's nothing, there's no kingdom or anything around them. It's untouched by humans. He's wondering, like, what's going on, what's happening, and what's going on, as he's not really understanding anything. As this kind of happens, we then zoom out to see the world around him, as he has been taken back thousands of years in the past. And that is where we're going to end this part off. That's the end of the series. I do hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you guys were kind of fulfilled with the ending. Later on, there may be a sequel to this series. Probably later on when I get more motivation to do it. But if I do, don't expect it to be constantly going. It will be an on and off series, kind of like this was. But anyway, I hope you guys did really enjoy this part. If you did, remember to like and subscribe and all of that jazz. And being honest, you guys are absolutely smashing. Like, you guys are crazy. Like, with the subscriptions and all that. It's been like 2 days and I'm already up to like 1,300 subs. It's insane. What are you guys doing? But yeah, so that's pretty insane. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys so much. It's really cool that you guys are really enjoying my content. Didn't really expect. I thought I was pretty average, just kind of normal like everyone else. But apparently, I'm good enough that you guys enjoy my stuff. So there you go. And once again, I do want to give a massive thanks to my boy Saint for the background music. It's awesome. Go check him out. But anyway, as I said, I hope you guys did really enjoy this part. Remember to like, subscribe, all of that jazz. If you guys have any kind of comment or whatever, ideas, or anything, just want to see how my day is, then put it down in the comments, and I will be sure to see it. I see every comment, and I either like it, or comment on it, or both, but yeah. But yeah, so I hope you guys did really enjoy this part. So yeah, just remember, God is awesome and you guys are too. And I will see you guys in the next series. Peace.